got the knowledge in store. Oh yeah, Alan Van watching top of the flare. Movie and TV show reviews that you need. Film threats on fire, we're planting the seeds. Film threat, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn the phone, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3.
Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's a wow. Big news as Marvel pushes Avengers Doomsday back. Plus tons of reviews. It's Stitch Possible weekend. That's right, Lilo and Stitch and the new Mission Impossible hit theaters for Memorial Day weekend. And those aren't the only two movies opening in theaters. Tons of other movies are. Did you know about them? You don't? Well, you will after watching this show, plus your chat comments and questions. It's Friday. It's a holiday weekend. Let's start the show and let's go, man. Let's go. I'm so upset with Alan right now. We got to get him on the show.
Okay, hello, Mr. Gore. Where the fuck is Mr. Ingy? Alan.
Do you know Conor McGregor?
I know of Conor McGregor.
Do you watch? He
fights. That's what I know.
MMA or any of that
Not
stuff?
really.
Yeah.
Ever since I had my daughter, sports has left my life.
Except for wrestling.
Yeah. Someone question whether that's sport or not.
It's soap operas for men.
Yeah.
You love the story.
It's soap opera with athleticism.
There you go. I gotta ask, how do I look? Now, I'm not saying this for any sort of vain way. It's a new camera. I just hooked it up. We're figuring it out. It's an Osbot.
The camera looks great. I mentioned it, but literally your hair blends in with the VHS tapes in the background.
Really?
And then your slightly red face kind of blends in with the film threat colors. And so you're literally competing with your background.
Orange face. Oh my God. I'll fix it. Your notes or comments in the chat there will help me out. How do I fix this? I got the new Osbot on X-Ray Girl's recommendations. So
I think you just need to play with the lighting of your background.
Yes. If only a professional could help. So, what do I know? So there you go. I got a ring light here. I got two lights here. I got it all going on.
Yeah, I would just light your face and then let the ambient light the background. I don't think you need to light up your background.
We have a ton of stuff to get to. So let's. What? I'm just.
No, we're talking like little nitpicks of business here.
Well, I'm like, whatever.
Like I wish I could fill this space up. I don't like this empty space here.
It doesn't. I don't mind it. Maybe lift up your TV higher. Fix it.
Yeah, that's.
Get a couple. Do you have any encyclopedias?
Yeah, no, it's an expensive TV. I don't want to fall over.
All right. Well, let's say hi to everybody here.
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy became a YouTube member. Welcome aboard.
Hell yeah.
Welcome aboard. Adventure Seeker says Tom Cruise was in Dallas the other day. Lucky jerks who were off on Thursday.
Nice.
Oh, and sorry, you're putting the stuff up. Whoops. Okay. Suns and Shadows. Hail chat. Coffee counter for Chris. 1 just started. 4 more on the way.
You guessed correctly. I've had 1, and here's cup 2 just begun.
Bill S. Preston Esquire. Chris got a new camera and camera position.
Yeah, I got to figure it out. Should I zoom out more? I think I'm cramped here, so I will fix it. I promise.
Zoom out.
Yeah, I want to see less of me.
Yeah, Lord Thought. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch. Shop.filmthreat.com. Yeah, that's perfect.
I'm playing with the zoom. How's that?
Well, now we can see the border of your background.
Yeah, some beige curtain.
I know.
All right. Well, whatever.
You literally fill in like a foot around you.
It's all good, man.
You gotta push in more.
We'll deal with it later.
We see the beige curtain in the background. That's why you gotta go.
Oh, here's what I recommend. Don't watch the show. Just listen to it. Just listen. Okay.
We are the most overproduced show on the internet.
It's not overproduced. It's normal. So, all right. But support, you know what Lord Thoth says. Tell him, Alan.
Yeah, I read that already.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, then, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a soup came in just now.
Yeah, from 200 Watt Studio for 5. Disappointed in Final Reckoning. Dead Reckoning was to Infinity War, as Final Reckoning was to messy Endgame.
I would agree with that. I like Dead Reckoning. I watched it in preparation to see Final Reckoning, and it's the one thing that it has is it's fun. Dead Reckoning is fun. Final Reckoning is less fun, less humor.
Is the last one.
Yeah, it's the last one. And Sean, who gifted 5 Film Threat memberships, check out our members only. Check that out, members only videos. We post a lot of videos on there. Alan's got his Catalina Island, which I still haven't watched. I apologize.
Yeah, well, you should get to it. And then I also have my performance of from the Oscar-nominated movie Emilia Perez.
Alan sings the song
Vaginoplasty.
Yeah. Here we go.
And 200 Watt Studios for 2. Push in more, Chris. That's what she said.
Oh, no.
Here, I'll say, yeah, try pulling out fast, Chris. Yeah, you're kind of off center. It's just
am I off center?
Beige background.
No, I gotta
beige background is bothering me.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it.
Just pushing like a little bit to get rid of the beige on the left side there.
I just let you talk.
Right.
Okay. All right. This
last
Edmonds
for 2. Chris and Alan, dynamic duo. Much respect. And how about those shirts?
Yeah, I gotta say, I ordered the Camp Film Threat and the Jaws inspired. I should get them next week. I'm very excited. And kudos to Atomic Lori. She did those. I didn't even ask her to do that. He came up with it on her own. That is, if you work with people and they do something that they were not asked, that is a great thing. That's a keeper. That's a model. Like that's someone you want to work with like that. Go after employees like that. What do you think about that, Alan?
Yeah, it's great until you say, who asked you to do that? Did you run this by me before doing that?
Well, I'll say 9 times out of 10, I love everything Lori does. And there'll be one thing I don't really like, but that's huge. And I love it. And I love working with ambitious people who care about their work.
People with initiative.
Exactly.
Those who seek forgiveness more than permission.
Yeah, there you go. Well, now you're getting my beige curtain on the one side. I don't know. We'll deal with it for today.
At least our heads are relatively the same size.
Yeah. Are they? I don't know. Let me see.
I have a... Yeah. Okay. Now you got a bigger head.
Oh, figure it out later. All right. Lots of news today. Let's get right to it. There is some big news. Let's start with the biggest news. Avengers delayed. Marvel pushes Doomsday and Secret Wars. I'll bring up the story from Variety. I believe you have the notes, but this is huge. This will affect box office. It was originally going to open in May. Avengers Doomsday, the return of Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom. So a very unexpected role. The end of the multiverse saga, but it has been delayed by, 7-8 months from May to December 2026. Secret Wars delayed till 2027. Is there anything that I missed, Alan, in the story?
Oh, Sorry, I was preparing to read it, but
Alan. Sometimes I notice Alan watches the show.
no,
while he's
I'm waiting
on the
for the
show.
cue. I'm saying you say you have the notes here.
I am
I'm
always
looking at the
stalling.
notes and I'm waiting for you to say it, and then you give me a question that says, "Do I need to add anything?" And I'm looking at the notes, wondering what is there to add.
What I miss? Is there anything? I mean, this is
Um,
big. This is big for this reason. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
It's big because there will be nearly. Are there no Marvel movies between? Okay, Fantastic Four will be the last movie
Right in July.
in July. Then there is Wonder Man. Did I miss anything?
I don't believe Wonder Man has a release date.
It does. It's
it does.
December.
Okay,
It's December.
so Wonder Man. Then
So-
no, yeah. 2026 and 2027, there will only be one Marvel movie.
Well, this was the
If I'm
lineup.
not-
Let me share screen with you so you can see. It means this will be the biggest break Marvel has taken since Marvel began. Here we've got Marvel's slate for 2025, and we just saw Thunderbolts. We've got June 24th, Ironheart, July 25th, Fantastic Four. That's a movie. Disney Plus. August 6th is the Wakanda show. October 3rd, Marvel Zombies. December is Wonder Man, and then nothing from Marvel until December 2026, but no movie since July. That'll be a year and a half without a Marvel movie. This is bad for theaters. It's maybe a way. People have said Marvel needs to take a break. But what do you think the impact, Alan, will be? This is big. When you look at that lineup and then they move the dates, I think moving the dates, it was ambitious to even hit that date.
Yeah.
So they're giving themselves more time to work on this movie. I don't see that as a bad sign. I see it as they want to make a better movie.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. How do you defeat Marvel fatigue? You put more Marvel movies out. No, you put less out. You put Marvel movies out with quality.
Right. That's right.
I mean, sadly, what's going to happen in 2025 is we're going to endure the rest of Marvel. Hopefully Fantastic Four is the high point, but we got Ironheart, we got whatever that Wakanda thing is. Zombies may be good, and then Wonder Man. We're hearing mixed things about Wonder Man. But yeah, maybe a year and a half is just what they need. If the reason is to make a better movie, then go for it. Make a better movie, please.
Yeah, I do think it's making a better movie would be like sorry about that. Making a better movie would be a good reason, a good reason, but I hope that's the reason. I think they bit off more than they could chew, and the rumors are the script isn't even done.
Yeah.
But
and they're filming. They're
filming. Yeah. By the way, that's pretty normal for Hollywood to start a movie and then keep working on a script and go, well, we've got two endings. We can just shoot both. But
or maybe they're shooting both movies at the same time.
Here's some breaking related news. A new Avengers Doomsday cast reveal. You saw recently the cast reveal with the chairs, little director's chairs they use on sets. They fold up easy. You put someone's name on it. That's their chair. They did the reveal. Here is another reveal. I'm shocked about this, Alan. Let me show you this. What is this? Is this, first of all,
I have to ask, will you be in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday?
You're trying to get Stitch in trouble. Watch and find out. But one thing Stitch would say, Stitch strong. Doomsday not be ready for Stitch.
I have to ask.
Yeah, that's I don't think that Stitch is in Doomsday. I don't believe those rumors. I'm gonna say
I wouldn't doubt that he is.
I'm gonna say false on that. So there you go. All right, let's go to comments here.
Yes. From Aaron Charman. Could this be connected to the reshoots for Fantastic Four? Potentially. Are they? Yeah.
I'm trying to adjust the camera here.
I know. Stuff you should have done before the show. But
well, literally just got the camera from Amazon. So there you go.
All right. Solomon Thornton. I remember Avengers Infinity War and Endgame was pushed back. Now 2026, Spider-Man 4 will be released before Avengers. Yeah, that's right. Spider-Man, maybe. I don't know. Let me check on Spider-Man.
Okay, we're gonna check on Spider-Man. While you're checking, I'll keep going with the comments. 200 Watt Studio for 5. They would be ahead of schedule if they hadn't taken so long with director chair's stream. But seriously, Russo's need a locked script for any movie. And a thank you, 200 Watt, and very generous $20 super chat, Alan.
Yes. $1 million question. What's the future of cinema? Indie films might thrive on streaming. If movies aren't the everyman entertainment, then what? Social media, heaven forbid. Theaters feel like the last defense for attention spans.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, what does it take for people that are perpetually online to go see a movie? Maybe Chicken Jockey in the Minecraft movie. That worked, and that movie will hit $1 billion in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from Monday, I think Kevin Smith is right. Theaters are vinyl. It's for those who want that experience and will be willing to pay the premium price for it. Records aren't cheap anymore.
Yeah.
All right. John Manalang, member for 33 months. Fantastic Four is greater than Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Gore
is
greater than Fantastic Four. Thank you, John Manalang. My apologies about Alan's reading.
Yeah. Joe Pat 87 for 5. I never thought that movie would end up on the same level as books. But life can be funny sometimes. The internet is both a miracle and a curse.
Yeah, I remember being a kid and talking to my friends about books. So we would discuss books and have conversations and recommendations. I'd hear about a book and then I got to read that book.
Yeah. Did you read page 27? It was riveting. Danielson for 499. Hey guys, hope both of your days are going amazing. Love both of you. Can you react to the new Predator Killer of Killers trailers that came out?
We can do that at the end of the show if we have time.
By the way, the Spider-Man 4 is July 31st next year.
Yeah, it ties in. They may change that date. Okay, last comment here. We have more to do.
All right, Blue Ace. The only dumb thing was moving it to the same time as Dune Messiah.
Yes, I agree. I think Dune Messiah is going to change, to be quite honest.
Maybe they'll move it up to Memorial Day.
So there you go. All right, we've got even some more news here. Lots of superhero related news. Superman's international release date threatened by lawsuit. Now, the rights for Superman are going to become in the public domain in less than a decade, from my understanding. And Alan, I know you have the notes for this story. Let's take a look at it. It's Superman's international release reportedly threatened again by lawsuit. And this is only for certain territories. Alan, tell me the story.
Well, as Warner Brother ramps up its promotional efforts for Superman, slated for release this July, the studio is once again facing legal challenges from the estate of co-creator Joe Shuster. The lawsuit seeks to block the film's release in several international markets, including the UK, Ireland, Canada, and Australia. Attorney Mark Toberoff, representing the state, is aiming for swift legal action with a court appearance scheduled for early June. This case echoes a similar lawsuit filed earlier this year, which was ultimately dismissed due to the lack of jurisdiction, with Warner Brothers arguing that all rights to the character had previously been relinquished. Despite the legal turbulence, Warner Brothers appears confident the film's upcoming launch, having released an official trailer and begun a large-scale marketing campaign complete with tie-in merchandise, with directors James Gunn leading this pivotal film, intend to jumpstart and revamp the DC universe. Any disruption in international distribution could hurt its box office haul, but for now, Warner Brothers seems poised to move forward without major delays.
Yeah, I think this is a shakedown. As many lawsuits are. I mean, I would say that a lot of lawsuits are frivolous. We've seen political figures as the victims of lawsuits. So I don't buy it. I think this is a shakedown, and maybe they'll get what they want, but I think this will go away. It's not going to stop Superman from not being released. Conversely, I'll say the movie Together, that Dave Franco, Alison Brie movie, that one is a real shot of being stopped. That one does. Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think to prevent its opening overseas in Europe is a huge thing, and I don't think any judge will take it lightly unless they get a judge that really wants the notoriety. Because you would have thought by now all that had been. I mean, I think they just said it all had been settled already, and this just feels like a publicity stunt. And as they say in America, anyone can file a lawsuit.
They can actually. I was once the victim of a frivolous lawsuit. It wasted 2 years of my life. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. It cost me lots of money. That's all I'll just say. A lot of money to fight that suit. Ultimately, it went away, but it was a harassment suit. I was told people do this. It's harassment. They kind of assess like what you might be able to afford to make it go away. So this happens often. It's really disappointing, but as I said, I would not wish it on anyone. It's awful. So I don't think it will delay Superman, but there you are. Let's go to comments.
Yeah, A.D. Ellis. Well, technically, Superman is half Canadian by creation. Metropolis was based on Toronto and Cleveland.
Interesting. 8 Ellis 24.
Yeah, I'm sure Toronto is getting the money out of that. Bill S. Preston Esquire. Superman was published in 1938, so that comic and other comics from 1938 go into public domain in 2034. But any character elements from later years are still restricted. Yeah,
that was the rumor behind why Zack Snyder got rid of the red trunks. He thought they didn't look good, but it had the extra, benefit of, it creates a new copyright, a new thing that people can't take. Thank you, Bill. Very good info.
Well, it's also the fact that it's the Steamboat Willie Mickey that's under public domain and not Mickey Mouse.
Right. Well, we'll see a Superman horror movie, slasher movie come 2034. Someone is working on that script now.
It'll be based on that Superman. JBTRX member for 32 months. Damn, John Manling beat me by 1 month. Have a great weekend, y'all. I get 150 characters for this free message. So going to write until out.
Well, there you go. Thank you, JTPRX. Appreciate you. All right. We have a lot of other news stories. This news story, I am saddened to hear. Alan, I am saddened to hear about. We saw the press junket for Wicked result in some weird videos. I mean, weird videos of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo just acting strange. We saw the press that came from Snow White and appearances by Rachel Zegler on the red carpet at D23 with some really distressing comments. And here we are again, another press tour for another big movie, Lilo and Stitch. And our friend Kira Lynn from Hollywood First Look had the opportunity to interview some of the cast members from Lilo and Stitch. I don't even know what to say about this. I'm just going to show you some of these videos and you draw your own conclusions. You really should, we're not going to say anything. You need to see for yourself. So here we go. This is Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnuson being interviewed by our friend Kira Lynn from Hollywood First Look.
Recently, at 55, a new friend. Like I don't need any new friends, but I'm so excited about this new friend, and I'm gonna tell him, Billy.
Oh, buddy.
No, it's answering.
What is going on? Okay.
It's Hollywood First Look there.
Hollywood First
Zach,
Look.
I was laughing because I did not know what to expect from your animated Jumbo.
I like Kira really dressed the part. She's very Hawaiian, Polynesian theme. She's a favorite when we do our Oscar show. But
I'd like to know what you thought when you first saw what he was going to look like.
I was pleased with it because I think they got the animation right. I mean, right, to lift it off the old movie and to give it this new modern look and also kind of give it dimension. I keep saying this, but I think the animation and the casting of Maya are the two strongest things of this movie.
can you believe here's a guy who's in a movie with a bunch of other actors and he's supporting his fellow cast members? What? I don't know. That's Alan. Let's see. There's more.
Yes,
clips.
continue on with the bit, Chris.
Have you caught on to what I'm doing? All right, let's look at this now. He mentions Maya. He mentions. I want you to see this and see what you notice.
Yes, the controversy.
Hammock scene.
Oh, don't make me cry.
Do you remember the hammock scene?
Yeah.
The hammock scene
Testing.
is my favorite scene. It's my favorite scene because it's such a loving and touching scene.
What? Another with the logo here and the music. Anyways, here we go.
Lilo and Stitch, the animated version, is my favorite Disney movie. And can I just say that this live action one
Was better than the.
Oh, yes.
The actress who
That's it.
plays
Canceled.
Lilo in
Canceled.
this movie is throwing shade on the original animated cartoon, loved by tens of millions of people. I don't know what to say, Alan. What do you think of this?
Yeah, she's canceled at such a young age. It was a great run while it lasted. Good luck with your career, because it's over. It's done.
How is this different than Rachel Zegler? How is this different? Rachel Zegler disparages the original Snow White, and here this young actress, barely in the industry, she's not even 10 years old. And she is saying the new one is better. Let's continue.
I like you.
Now you get Lilo?
I get Lilo. So, Nani and Lilo, their relationship is so important. So,
Yeah.
Maya, I want to know what it was like when you first met Sydney and being able to kind of create that environment where you felt safe with your older sister.
Okay, so first, you want to go silly or not silly?
Oh, silly.
Oh.
Yay! So Sydney, she's really good to connect with.
Aw.
She's very soft, and if you meet her, if you literally touch her right now, you would want to cling to her like for the rest of your life.
Hold me back. I don't want
First of all, great acting. They clearly hate each other, just like Zegler and Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Should also mention that.
Can you see through that?
Well, we should also mention that this is exactly what Pedro Pascal did on the stage.
Exactly.
Hang
Exactly.
on. She's getting touchy for out of security reasons. It's disgusting.
But I don't know. Let's continue. Let's see. I don't know how much more of this I can watch.
Never mind. She's icky. She's gross. She's gross. Yeah. So but she's
icky
really
and
loving.
gross.
So if you're like shy, her fans, if you're like shy, like hi Sydney, she's Sydney's gonna be like, hi. No, girl, we're not gonna do that today, okay? We're gonna have the best day of our lives. We're gonna go get some ice cream, okay? Since there's a mall right behind us, why don't we go get some MAC lipstick, yeah?
I kind of think I want Sydney.
Alan, you gotta have some comments on this. I don't even know what to say.
Yes. Well, I mean, she just said she's icky and gross. And I mean,
Again,
wow.
throwing shade
this
at the original Lilo and Stitch, and then all of this getting along behind the scenes, obviously fake.
Yeah.
Clearly fake.
And what does she want to do after the interview? She wants to go out and get MAC lipstick.
Yeah.
Now my fame has gone to her
Oh
head.
my gosh, she's like talking me up like a storm.
She's mine.
Oh, I love you, girl.
Gosh, there's like such a big responsibility for Nani, especially, she's so loved. And I'd love to know, what do you hope that like when older siblings who have to kind of take this sort of caregiving role, what do you hope they kind of take away when they watch your portrayal of her?
I think I really hope that they take away that they're not alone, and that it's the struggle is real, and I think that they can also.
Her name is Sydney Agudong.
Yes.
Okay.
Take away that I think a little bit of love and a little bit of peace of mind, and knowing that it's okay to not always be perfect and have everything put together all the time is okay, and it's okay to put your needs first. And and I think that
put your needs first. Selfish.
Something that was really incredible is that your little sister or your little siblings can also teach you a thing or two about releasing that control. And Lilo does that at the end. And I think it's a gift, but I think that can also go for caretakers all over. It doesn't have to just be like siblings. It can be your parents and any sort of caretakers. And I hope that they are able to see that it's okay, and be able to see themselves on screen in that sort of way, and maybe take a break or take a breath of fresh air, and give themselves a little bit of love.
Well, you're almost I think you are in every scene of the movie. So I'd like to know, what was your most favorite scene to shoot with Sydney?
Hammock scene.
Oh, that made me cry.
Do you remember the hammock scene?
Yeah.
The hammock scene is my.
How much more of this do
I
we have
know.
to endure? How much more, Alan?
No, I want to. I mean, look, I'm glad Kira gets these opportunities, but how are we not on these press junkets? What have we ever said about Disney that would keep us from press junkets? Like
We've
this?
always supported Disney.
I know. We
get the
wish
check.
nothing but the best for Disney.
And you like this movie a lot better than I
know.
did. A lot more than I did.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm more Asian than Kira here. I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't I know.
My favorite scene. It's my favorite scene because it's such a loving and touching scene. Even when I film it with Sydney, she's amazing.
Oh,
she sings amazing. I don't even know if she took ukulele lessons, but she's very good at that too.
Thank you.
But mostly it's.
You made it easy.
Yes, and we made some people cry. We made some people cry.
She made people cry on the set. What does that tell you about how these actresses conducted themselves? They made people cry,
right? Which means
how are these not headlines?
I know. Clearly she lost agency, and her voice has been silenced, and she can only express it through crying.
Maya Kealoha made people cry on set of Lilo and Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
You made me cry. But before I go, like I said, this was my favorite movie. So I had these made for each
again.
of you.
Here we go.
Yes.
It's a
They did.
Marilyn bribing the cast.
I know.
Now we know how she gets
Oh,
these.
yeah.
Little Stitch Bobas.
Oh my god! Wait, oh my gosh. Wait, did you actually knit this?
I did not knit them. I knew somebody that could do it, and she did it very fast.
This is
and I found out.
beautifully
And
done.
it's like I said, it's my
Wow.
favorite movie. And
Now we know how she gets
Wow.
these interviews.
Gotta
She brings in her friend, her knitter friend, and the knitter made these gifts.
now this
Yeah.
live action is definitely one of my favorites as well. So I thought to commemorate, and what a good job. So congratulations.
Girl,
It's
thank you so much.
You.
Oh, I can't take any more of this, Alan. Now, some people will say it's adorable that the promotion for this movie, the press tour, resulted in adorable videos. Some would describe it as that. I see through it. I see selfish. I see actresses an actor who made someone cry on set. All of this, and disparaging the original Lilo and Stitch. Alan, you're a big Disney fan. How can you defend this?
Yeah, well, here, let me read you the email I got from Disney publicists about getting on the press junket. They said, we would love to consider your application for the press junket, but Hollywood First Look is bringing knitted Stitch boba drinks. What are you bringing? I mean, how are you? How are you supposed to compete with that?
Yeah, we can't compete, but subscribe to Hollywood First Look and say hi to Kira Lynn.
Yeah, and maybe you'll get a boba drink out of them.
Exactly. Let's go to comments here.
Beersaurus Rex, member for 33 months. Hey, it's a battle of the 33-month members. It's outrageous, egregious, and preposterous.
That's what I keep saying.
Greedy Graffiti for $1.99. Bought Desert Dawn from Amazon, watching tonight.
Nice. Thank you.
Excellent. Uncle Remus, is this the gayest Lilo and Stitch press tour ever? It probably is. 200-watt studio. Ohana means stop touching me, Mr. Spacey.
Yep.
One Punch Man. I think my Agudong really likes Sydney.
Yeah.
ADLS24. This little kid is the next Rachel Zegler. Toss her to the wolves. Yeah. Yeah, I want to know what she thinks of the Middle East conflict. Speed Racer X89. Not enough co-worker trashing here.
Exactly. Well, look, I hope when that's made into a clip that it's the most damning, controversial thumbnail. I can't wait. But that was adorable. Hey, the Fantastic Four is coming out. And have you seen this video of Pedro Pascal? This is from the set of it's from the set of Last of Us season 2, a rap party. Pedro Pascal was in a festive mood, and I don't know what to say about this. I'm gonna put this full screen and play it for you, Alan. I don't know if you've seen this, but I want to hear your thoughts. This clip is only 17 seconds. And it's Pedro Pascal dancing with a rainbow, like kind of a lightsaber. He's licking it with his tongue and then dancing in a way that, I mean, I can't do that. I got to say, I mean, I have some moves on the dance floor, but they're not nearly as, that's quite a, it's not, it's a very short clip, so I might leave it on repeat for you. But Pedro is doing his best here. I guess my question is, what does Mrs. Pascal think of this clip? Is Pedro Pascal married?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
What do you think now? Soon to be a hero to millions of Marvel fans. What do you think of Pedro's dance moves?
Yeah, I actually kind of like the new face of masculinity. I mean, look at that. I mean, watch him lift up his arms. Yes, I'm a man. Masculine man. Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. I don't know what else to say about this. It's, yeah, it is what it is. Alan, you are my density. You're not going to say anything?
Yeah, I wish I was the one dying.
Let's get to the real the facts here. As of 2025, Pedro Pascal is single and does not have a publicly known partner. He prioritizes privacy over his romantic life.
Hmm.
Do you believe that, Alan?
Yeah. I can see the girl swooning right now.
Yes.
Yeah, you just gotta
I
keep going.
gotta stop this. I mean, it is sort of
The chat loves it. What are you talking about?
It is mesmerizing, but I'm sure we'll see him stretch his acting ability in Fantastic
Yeah.
Four.
Look at that. The nerd far away. I'm not swooning. Let's see. There's a whole bunch of other comments here.
All right, we got stuff to
never
go.
mind. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna let's actually get to our reviews, and then we have news stories. We have a lot of news. We may bump that to Monday. By the way, Monday for verses, we may do verses with a smaller group because it is a holiday, and we're going to do it earlier in the morning, probably 9 or 9:30 a.m. So we can have the afternoon for a Memorial Day barbecue. Right, Alan?
Yeah. Reminds me, I should buy a brisket this weekend.
Oh, God, I had some brisket recently. Very good. Let's get to reviews now. We'll start with The Last Rodeo. We got a few movies to review that are outside of normal movie theater reviews. Alan, The Last Rodeo is a film from Angel Studios. You have seen the movie. It stars Neil McDonough, an actor I've always really liked.
Yeah.
He's solid. Christopher McDonald, dig him. Good cast. It's from Angel Studios.
That's right. Shooter McGavin is in this movie.
Look, Angel Studios has a good track record of making solid movies, the kind of movies they don't really make anymore. Now, I imagine The Last Rodeo is about a cowboy. I only know this from the poster. Alan, tell me about it.
Yeah, not only is it about a cowboy, but it's about his last rodeo. From Angel Studios, McDonough plays Joe Wainwright. He is a retired rodeo bull rider. Long time ago, he lost his wife. I believe it was to cancer. He lashed out at God, saying why. He wound up going on a bull, drunk, and becoming somewhat paralyzed. And during that time, it was his daughter who had to take care of him, had to wipe his mouth, feed him, get him to all his doctor's appointments and physical therapy. Now, cut to today, Joe trains young people to be bull riders. And then he loves hanging out with his grandson, Cody, who is into baseball, Little League Baseball. During a baseball game, he hits a ball, kind of fouls it into his face, gets a concussion, goes to the doctor, and the doctor say, hey, there's something a little more serious here. You should go to Dallas and get a specialist, a neurologist, to look at it. The problem is Ruby, I believe it's Ruby, his daughter, Sally, his daughter, she doesn't have the money. She only has limited health insurance. And when they go to the neurologist, finds out that little Cody has a brain tumor. And they're going to need hundreds of thousands of dollars to do the surgery. And she can't come with it. So there's one option. And that one option is for Joe to partake in the Legends Bull Riding competition that has a very hefty prize for first place. And so Joe decides he's going to go out of retirement, risk his health, and try to win that prize money with the help of his old buddy, Charlie, played by Michael T. Williamson. And that's pretty much the story here. Can Joe win the competition and pay for the surgery? Look, Angel Studio has a good track record. This is a faith-based movie. Has a lot to do. The themes of it have to do with fathers and daughters. The fact that the daughter is really upset with her father because of all the work she had to put in to bring him back to health, and now he wants to go risk it all again to ride the bulls. And then also it has to deal with the fact that the death of his wife. When his wife died, he kind of lashed out at God and said, "Why did you let her die?" And he lost faith, and the fact that Cody got a brain tumor only ratchets that anger he has toward God. And it's through him and through Charlie and Sarah and everyone to kind of get him to realize that, you can't live life alone and that you need support from others, especially the church in this case. And so it's a faith-based film. The reason why I tend to be sour on faith-based films is because they tend to be predictable. I think that if I were to ask you, how do you think this movie is going to play out? I would say
he dies, right?
Yeah, he dies at the end. Cody dies, he dies, everyone dies at the end. It's I appreciate the positivity of these messages, but sometimes positivity is not enough, and you want a little bit of edge to your story. And this one doesn't have that edge, but it has that good positive message, that good Christian message. It just reeks of positivity, positive. So, look, I will recommend it because I'll give it a bare recommendation because of its stars. Let me see. Sorry, Neil McDonough. Sorry, is really good. Michael T. Williams is really good. This is, if you like bull riding, there's a lot of it in this. It is what it is, and so if you like the subject matter, if you want a good positive story, this is the movie to see. But it's just gonna go on the shelf with all the other faith-based movies I've seen. It's fine, and I'll move on to the next one.
Is it based on a real story, a real life story?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, there's a lot of the Angel Studios movies are like that, and then you see a little montage over the credits of the real people the story is based on. 2 of the films that I saw from Angel were like that. But so
yeah.
A bare recommendation.
I mean, where this succeeds above all other faith-based movies is you've got a great cast with really good acting. There's one really bad actor in this movie, but that aside, it's a strong cast and a solid message. But I kind of like movies with curse words. I like movies that get a little bit dark, and a lot of times faith-based movies just can't go in that direction.
So bare recommend.
Yeah. If anything, support faith-based movies and Angel Studios.
Let's go to comments.
All right. 200-watt studios for 2. He's stretching his sphincter.
I think that's a different cowboy movie. Yeah. No, he's talking about Pedro.
Oh, Pedro
Pascal.
Big Marv, member for 8 months. If he likes privacy so much, he should dance in private.
Well, you did see him make this move, like cut off the camera. I don't want to be seen doing that.
Yeah, I don't want this to appear on social media.
Right.
200-watt studio for 2. Not a rap party of Peggy Frey. I'm getting the feeling that these are not Last Rodeo comments. ADLS 24. This is certainly the gayest Reed Richards ever. Nerd Far Away. I'd rather show up for Angel Studios feature lately. They're not remaking everything under the sun. Yes.
Yeah.
Although good one. All right. Magnegro. This chat has cheered me up. Hilarious stuff, guys.
Oh, thanks. I wondered if you would go along with my bit with the Lilo and Stitch thing.
By the way, I think Magnegro is Magneto's new name in the new X-Men.
I'm going to leave it there. Let's talk about a movie on Netflix, Prom Queen. So we'll get that poster queued up, Alan, if you would. When I say Lori. Alan, I mean
you mean Lori, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about Fear Street Prom Queen. Fear Street is a series of books by R.L. Stine, who did Goosebumps. This is from the Fear Street series. Prom Queen is the story of 6 girls in high school, and they're vying to be the prom queen. It's set in 1988, and from the first notes of the music that accompanies the credits, this is inspired by old school horror movies of the 80s. It basically follows all the cliches. There's a young girl named Lori Granger. She's a long shot because all the other 5 girls that are vying for prom queen are part of the wolf pack of the cool girls in school that are very mean. But Lori's an average girl who works as a waitress at a restaurant where she gets the abuse from these prom queens. We see her in high school. She has a best friend that's into horror, which is kind of a weird chick. She's into makeup effects and horror and loves horror movies. We see the characters in the movie go to see the movie Phantasm 2, which is pretty awesome reference in the film. And I got to say this, while this checks the boxes of all the cliches, it's kind of horror comfort food. I'm not going to say this is a great horror movie. It's fine. It follows kind of a trend of there's a situation, people are being offed. That's these prom queens are getting offed one by one in gruesome ways, including their boyfriends or other people that get in the way. And increasingly it gets gorier and gorier and gorier. And it's someone in a mask and a trench coat. Who could it be? Well, that's a lot of movies. Like Scream does that. Other horror films have done that, where it's like, who is, we just saw this one with the film Finn Wolfhard was in, set at summer camp. And it's a movie where you're just guessing until the end, who is it? And the movie kind of like, in the third act definitely is a surprise, but you could guess the ending. Not going to tell you what it is. I'll say this was fine. This was like the In-N-Out burger of, it's just like a cheap, actually not In-N-Out, a chain below In-N-Out, like a Tom's or something. It's one of those, like, it's like cheap horror comfort food. Seen everything in this movie before. It's I was gonna say, like, for the first half hour, it's like, well, these kills aren't very gruesome. They get increasingly gruesome, and in a climactic scene, they get really gruesome because it's all about the kills. But the tone of this thing, I will say this, the tone, it's not scary. It leans into comedy more than horror. And the music, the soundtrack really sets it in the 80s. And there's like a young girl at the school that's doing a report. She's kind of the reporter of what's going on. And a guy has a giant VHS camcorder. I had one just like that in the 80s. I had a camcorder that you could play videos and you would hold it above your head. And it was, and so they
on
have
your shoulder.
Yeah, there's like you just sort of keep it. This thing is so heavy. But that running bit was pretty funny. And the girl who plays Laurie Granger, she's very good. India Fowler is the actress. So I gotta say, I enjoyed it. It's comfort food, not a great horror movie, but it's on Netflix. It's short at 90 minutes, tight. And I'll say that, I would maybe watch more of the series of Fear Street. It's really almost like the movie is like a cover band of old 80s horror set at a prom. You've seen all the elements before, nothing new, nothing special, but it's enjoyable. So, 6.5 out of 10 for me, maybe a 6 out of 10 with a bare recommend. But if you're looking for something on Netflix, it's better than the Sarah Silverman special I kind of suffered through. Oh my God. I like comedy specials on Netflix, but wow, did she become unfunny? It's almost like her style of comedy was from another era. And I watched that when I also watched this, and woo! Fear Street Prom Queen was a good palate cleanser from Sarah Silverman. So that's why it gets a good bare recommend from me. But even the poster is very 80s inspired. So I had fun. It's okay. Let's go to comments.
I mean, is this the first in a series, or has there been other?
There have been others in the series of Fear Street. It's based on R.L. Stein's books. He does
other movies, not other books from R.L. Stein. This is
it's like based on his books.
Okay.
I'm not look, I was never a Goosebumps guy. I wasn't the right age.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Corky's chilling. Do they inject modern politics?
None whatsoever. None.
What about feminism? All right.
No, it's very 80s. It's very authentic to the era. Yeah, but there's no modern like girl boss stuff. In fact, all the a lot of the people getting killed are girls in horrifying ways.
Oh,
There's a great death too. I don't want to ruin it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna ruin. There's good kills.
all right. Well, I'll look forward to the Cannibal Breakfast Club. Solomon
Yeah,
Thornton, a serial killer with a mask. Who could it be now?
that'd be a good song to put it in there.
GTPRX, Prom Queens Getting Off. What type of film is this? Speed Racer 89, Speed Racer X. If it's Jamie Lee Curtis in a Trump mask making you eat yogurt that keeps you regular, and
There you go.
okay.
No, I guess I didn't think to mention it, but yeah, there's nothing political, no girl bossery. I mean, it is a horror trope of, the final girl. Final girl is a trope in horror. And so yeah, but there was nothing like that. It really was like, a tribute. And I quite enjoyed it. All right, Alan, let's get to more reviews.
Okay.
What else have you seen?
I saw Fountain of Youth, and
Let's do that one.
yeah, and then there's a indie VOD that
And I have a movie you didn't see.
okay. So Fountain of Youth just came out on Apple TV Plus yesterday, or today, technically. Filmed by Guy Ritchie. The Fountain of Youth. John Krasinski plays Luke Perdue, who is a kind of a treasure hunter. He's a guy who goes after ancient artifacts. He's currently in Bangkok, where he stole a ancient golden sundial, and he's being chased through the streets of Bangkok to escape. Along the way, he meets a woman, Esme Eliza Gonzalez, who is kind of after her. And what we find out is that John Krasinski's character, he's Luke. He's after the Fountain of Youth. He's been hired by a rich benefactor, played by Donald Gleason. And what he has to do is he has to collect all these paintings, all these old ancient paintings of Jesus Christ, 6 of them to be exact. And each of them has a clue that will lead them to the Fountain of Youth, but he needs help. And that help comes from his sister Charlotte. No, sorry. Yeah, Sister Charlotte, played by Natalie Portman. And she runs a museum. He tries to steal the portrait of Jesus in her museum. She gets fired, and because of the sense of adventure, he convinces her to go on this journey. But being chased is again Esme. She is part of this group of ancient protectors who have been tasked for centuries to protect the Fountain of Youth, so that no one can find it and take advantage of its power. And so it's a chase to the fountain. Let's just say that this movie is essentially the last 20 minutes of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It plays out almost exactly like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yeah. Look, I believe this is probably the most family friendly of the Guy Ritchie movies. And you know what that means? It's the most bland of the Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah, this looks, the poster looks bland. They're just standing there. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a kid there who helps solve the puzzles, so Guy Ritchie, action and story. There's a lot of action in it. There's the chase sequence in Bangkok, the chase sequence in London, the chase sequence in Egypt. Fairly Guy Ritchie. I like the London one because it was an auto chase that involved a lot of drifting, which you don't see a whole lot when it comes to car chases that way. But in terms of the story, the stakes of the story, again, unless there's a dark edge to it, it comes across as bland. John Krasinski, I like John Krasinski, but he doesn't have, as you say, the weight to be an action hero like a Schwarzenegger or a Stallone. And I think that's the problem with this movie, is just there's not a lot of weight to it. If you want to introduce kids to action films, this is probably a good one to do. If you want to kind of give them a primer before introducing them to Indiana Jones, you might want to do that. But outside of that, no, because again, we're basically replaying Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the last 30 minutes.
I mean, I'm getting like Spy Kids Robert Rodriguez vibes off this. The poster.
Well, at least that one had. At least that one was made for kids, as opposed to this one. It's a very safe. A very safe action film. I mean, even it's like the A-Team where you can fire 1 million bullets, but no one will get killed. That's kind of the action you have here.
Let's go to comments.
200 Watt Studios. Chris, have you talked to Sarah Underwood recently?
I have not.
No. All right. She McQueen. This cover looks like it's from the dollar bin. Yeah. I mean, it's Apple TV Plus. And it rightfully went to the perfect place, which is streaming. Yeah. Goober, Confucius say, man who go through airport turnstile sideways is going to Bangkok. JPTRX also says, is this like National Treasure or the Da Vinci Code? This is mostly like National Treasure. Let's see. ADL's 24. I love how the poster clarifies twice that this is a Guy Ritchie film, even though this was shot nothing like a traditional Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like giving him boundaries. That's what this movie feels like. Will Yum for 5. Missed opportunity for this could be National Treasure 3 with Nick Cage.
Yeah, it could have been.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even the puzzle is kind of like, okay. That's the answer.
We're going to get to more commentary about Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible, but we've got a couple more to do. A movie you did not see, Jane Austen. Let's do that. So, Jane Austen Wrecked My Life is a French film. It is partially in French with subtitles, also partially in English. It stars Camille Rutherford as Agatha Robinson. She is a young woman that feels out of time. She reads romance novels written by Jane Austen, and she dreams of finding the love of her life. And she just feels that modern dating, well, let's just say she doesn't like what she sees in modern dating and modern men, and just wishes she was in the era in which Jane Austen wrote her books, a more romantic era where men were more civilized, or at least gentlemanly. She works with her friend Felix, played by Pablo Pauly, at a bookstore, and she gets an opportunity, receives a letter to go to a writer's retreat with a bunch of other writers to work on her novel. She wrote some chapters for a novel. It remains unfinished, and she is by invitation going to a Jane Austen inspired writer's retreat. She goes there where she meets Oliver, a British gentleman played by Charlie Anson, very handsome, picks her up and takes her to the retreat, and realizes, unbeknownst to her, he does speak French because he had a French girlfriend. Things did not go well. This is a very charming romantic comedy, innocent while there is nudity. I mean, it's a French film. There is nudity, some accidental nudity. I'll just say that Agatha walks into a different room she assumes is the bathroom. It's actually Oliver's room, full frontal nude. Alan, just saying.
Okay.
It's very sweet. It's also about being a writer and having writer's block. She's seeing everyone else that's at the writer's retreat, this cast of characters that are very quirky, and they're having lots of success writing, and she is stuck. Things get complicated when Felix shows up and complicates everything, kind of a lovers, like a trio here that will work itself out. I got to say, I was totally charmed by this. I don't love everything that's subtitled, but I do like a good French film. There's nothing radical about this. This could have even been in English. I don't know. I just really liked it. Camille Rutherford, who plays Agatha, is just very good. If you like Jane Austen, books or films, you'll really love this. But I don't know. it's a really solid romantic comedy by way of the French, which means there will be nudity. And it feels more grounded and real. I think that's something when the French approach love and romance, it feels more real. I think American romantic comedies tend to romanticize romance. So make of that what you will. There's a film coming out actually soon, The Materialists, that Pedro Pascal is in, and Chris Evans, that we'll see about that one, but that one looks a little schmaltzy and whatever. What I like about French romantic comedies, they're just more real. I would say that about a lot of European movies. They deal with the realities of life. But and this character Agatha, that she just wants the romance she reads in the Jane Austen novel. She wants to find that in her own life. So I was charmed by it. If you're looking for something like that to go to at the theater, go see it. It's also 94 minutes. Again, 90 minutes. It's a better than a 2 hour and 20 minute. It doesn't drag. It's very fun. So I recommend Jane Austen Wrecked My Life. Alan, will you see it?
Probably not. But based on, I know you're. Oh, I'm sorry. No, based on your recommendation alone, yes, I will go see it.
All right, there you go.
I mean, was the Full Frontal amazing, or was it?
It's just real. It's not sexual. It's funny.
Okay. Uncle Remus, it was Agatha all along.
There you go.
Yeah. And reaching the most important. How many Pascal glow sticks out of 10?
8 out of 10.
Yeah. I'll say this about The Materialist. I'm interested because of the writer-director Celine Song, who did Past Lives.
Yes. I was going to say, I'll see it because of her.
Yeah. JPTRX, nudity. You had me at French nudity. Okay. At ADS 24. This would be better set up for a horror film.
Well, the thing that attracted me initially was the poster. So there you go.
That poster attracted to you.
Okay. Alan, what's the next film you're going to talk about?
Okay. It's a movie called Mongrels. Yeah. So every so often we get indie films thrown at us. People, if you have an indie film you want reviewed, submit it to Film Threat. And sometimes we may even talk about it, and that's the movie Mongrels. It's set in the 1990s in rural Canada. A widower and his 2 children emigrate to Canada from South Korea. And the father, Sonny, is just trying to start a new life after the death of their mother. He gets a job. Basically, this farm town that they lived in, that they moved to, is being overrun by feral dogs. They're ruining they're attacking their animals, their horses, the cows, the chickens, and everything. And so they need people to go out into the forest, hunt them down, and kill them. And Sonny has proven himself to be quite an adept hunter. And so he gets into the good graces of the town. Meantime, he has a son, Ho Jun, who he wants him to live up to his reputation. He calls him strong. He gives him strength. He says, I want your strength to be passed on to your sister and to me. But he doesn't feel that way. So there's a little bit of identity problems there. And then there's little Hannah, who, she still hasn't really come to grips with the loss of her mother. She kind of feels like that she's coming back. In fact, the mother told her, if you can catch 100 airplanes, you can make a wish. And her wish. So throughout the movie, she's trying to catch airplanes. You'll see it you'll get it when you see it. And the movie is basically about an immigrant family moving to Canada and just trying to fit in. And look, I'm an immigrant. I'm from a family of immigrants. My parents, my dad was born and raised in San Francisco, Chinatown. My mom was raised in Los Angeles, Chinatown. And when they graduated from college, they met after college, and basically they had a family, us, and we lived in a white community. And this story kind of resonated with me in that way. It was the fact that we're being raised in a community that's not like us, is not Chinese. And for the most part, and what makes this movie different is the fact that the white people are actually good people. And that's been kind of my experience growing up as an immigrant, children of immigrants in California. This movie is just about that struggle to fit in. Sonny is just having a difficult time dealing with the passing of his wife, and just trying to, it's like he needs the white people to get a job, but he doesn't trust them. And a lot of this movie is basically dealing with that. And again, it's not woke in the sense of,
it sounds like Minari a little bit.
It does. I think Minari, though, dealt with the racism. This one really doesn't deal with it. This is a story of immigrants and immigrants trying to fit in, and the things that they have to do to fit into a brand new culture. Like there's a point where this family, the Larson family, the ones who hired Sonny to be the hunter, the mother always wanted a daughter, and she kind of takes Hannah in under her wing, and wants her to, basically treats her like the daughter she never had. And it's not done in any creepy way. It's just a story about immigrants and fitting in. And I really liked it. I really resonated with it. And so I give it a recommendation. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Wow. Yeah. That's high praise.
Yes.
Cool.
And no, this is not an animated movie. Dog killing movie, 0 out of 10. Yeah, it gets kind of brutal on the dogs. Aaron Sharman, this isn't an animated movie. No, it's not. It's just a poster.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, breaking news. Breaking news, Alan. We were talking about Pedro Pascal earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to watch this and tell me what you think.
Look into my eyes. Here we go. You have bewitched me, body and soul. And I love you. Is that...
I did it pretty good.
Pride and Prejudice?
Bro.
Bam!
Maybe.
Wow.
I'm just a girl.
That ties into Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro. Okay.
Thank you for that.
Any other films you have?
No, that's it. That's
okay,
it.
good. That's good. Let's talk about Lilo and Stitch.
All right.
Okay.
It's coming. There we go.
Alan, Lilo and Stitch, we saw it and gave our non-spoiler thoughts. And now that it's out and everyone has seen it, I know you have more thoughts you felt you couldn't share. So tell me more about what you think of this movie. I think it's I'll just say this. I've been seeing mixed reviews. I have been seeing mixed reviews for it. Rotten Tomatoes has it at I'll bring it up on screen in a bit,
Okay.
but I want to know what you think.
What I think, yeah, I mean, the reality is that these live actions will never live up to its predecessor, its source material, and I think this is good, but I know people will naturally compare it to the original, rightfully so. I think, to me, the biggest misstep was Jumba, Zach Galifianakis. You wanted to capture the original character, and it was the exact opposite of the original character. The other thing is the ending. You remember Lilo was stuck on a spaceship, and they're trying to chase her. The ending in this one is just a bit of a mess. I thought the first two acts were much stronger. The third act just felt like we don't have the money, but we got to have some kind of exciting ending, and then that's what we got. But overall, I'll see this movie again. I think it's a good adaptation. It's definitely, I remember driving home with my daughter after seeing it. It's definitely top 3 of the live actions. If you were to ask her, it's Maleficent, Cinderella, and then Lilo and Stitch. And I would tend to agree with her. I can't think of, you know, I'm one of the rare people who like The Lion King, but this is definitely right up there with at least Cinderella.
I mean, I would put at the bottom Pinocchio with
Mhm.
Tom Hanks. That
Yeah.
may be the worst, even worse than Snow White.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Snow White is bottom tier. Pinocchio, it never came to theaters. It was Disney Plus only.
yeah, but it was meant
people-
to promote Disney Plus. Let's put it that way.
People forget that movie. Pinocchio live action, god awful. I mean, one of the worst ever. So you'll be delighted to learn that Rotten Tomatoes has Lilo and Stitch at 69%.
Yeah, 69.
69% critic score. Audience currently 93%.
Yeah,
That
I'm
sounds
surprised.
about right. That
I'm
sounds about
surprised
right.
it's this. I'm surprised critics didn't like it as much.
Well, it's getting mixed from critics for several reasons. The character of Gantu
Yeah.
being just completely deleted. I mean,
Right.
it's possible if there is a sequel, they could add Gantu into it and they could throw more money at it. By the way, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. This movie was they were gonna do a Lilo and Stitch live action. Do I have this right? A Lilo and Stitch live action for Disney Plus, a series, and changed it to a movie. Is that am I remembering?
I mean, that was definitely Moana. Maybe you're mixing it up because they're both in
yeah, I
white.
might be mixing it up. But also the budget for this was 100 million. They say it's 100. I don't know about that, but it's like it's money better spent than Snow White. I think these live action remakes are not going away. And the success of Lilo and Stitch means there will be more of these. Okay. There will be more. The lesson Disney may or may not learn is let's not update very much.
Yeah.
Let's not change very much from the original. Just actually, we have the template, a cartoon that people love. That is the template. So we have that. We're not going to try to improve it. We'll just do that in live action and translate it to the best of our ability.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've already done close to all of the Walt Disney films, the ones that Walt had actually worked on. The only thing I can think of that they haven't done is Aristocats.
What about Robin Hood?
Oh, okay. Robin Hood. Yeah, that's the other one. The other thing is I'm looking over the critic reaction. For the most part, all the ones who didn't like this movie, almost all of them compared to the original, which
Right.
is almost unfair. You as a critic, you got to judge what's up on the screen, not what came before it or not what it's based on. Grace Randolph basically said it's shockingly inferior to the original film, so much so that it's odd it came from the same studio, but Stitch is very well animated. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's not going to look, if you compare it to the original, it should get a 0. You know, you got to judge it by what you're actually given at this point. You know, and like I said, the movie itself, where it falls apart is at that third act, but not so much that it would make me want to not recommend the movie.
So, no, look, I was with you when we did an out of the theater reaction. And I guess I should put this up, make sure people know. You know, I talked to you after. I'm like, I was like, it's fine. It again, I'll repeat, it knew the assignment. Do this, remake Lilo and Stitch. Don't change as little as you can based on budget. I feel it was hampered by the budget. Snow White looked like they spent a lot of money foolishly. And the money here was well spent.
Yeah.
They, you know, it's under 100 million, I'm told.
Yeah. And it was restricted by the budget as well. Unlike animation where you can run free because you're animating it.
No one's complaining about how Stitch looks in this movie. And the actor who does the voice is the same actor that did it for the cartoon.
Well, we said it. The reason this movie works is because of the three main characters.
Yes.
Everything else, not as good, but because of the three main characters, you give all that a pass. It's not the perfect movie. It's not the great movie, but it's certainly good enough. And the box office is starting to prove me right. Prove us right.
It's looking to win the weekend, and they're looking at over 150 million.
Yeah, which is an upgrade from what they thought before the release.
Lilo and Stitch will make more in its opening weekend than the last two Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Opening
combined.
weekend.
Yeah, over the weekend.
Yeah.
So although it is a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, the
3-day, 4-day, however you put it. Most people take Friday off.
Yeah, the Thursday night take for Lilo and Stitch was $15 million, which is, I believe it beat. Did it beat Minecraft? Came pretty close, if it not beating it.
We'll talk about box office on Versus on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah.
Well, it remains to be seen if Disney will learn the lesson. I think the live action remakes, they're not going away based on this success of this movie. They are not going away anytime soon. What they may change is the way they promote these movies and the way that they make them. They're going to be more accurate. They'll be more accurate to the originals in order to succeed. So make of that what you will. And I hope this film will survive the controversy of the lead actress slamming the original.
Shame on her.
Let's go to comments.
All right. Let's see. Shane the Liver. I heard they ditched the ugly duckling story. Oh, yeah. Okay. Jim T. How will all these live action Disney age? Not as well as the original animated.
People will forget them. It'll be like, do you know, like there are all these like direct to video sequels like Cinderella 2, Lion King 2, Aladdin 2. They all came out at grocery stores on VHS. No one remembers those. People will not remember the live action.
Yeah. Shane the Liver, they should just make a whole new Stitch going into other Disney movies and destroying them.
That I would like. Do a version of Snow White where Stitch goes in as a character and fuck shit up.
Yeah. Or better yet, go into Marvel and Star Wars while you're at it. Aaron Charman, live action will never match the magic of animation.
That's true. Like animation is like a magic trick. It really is. When you look at, I've been to the Academy Museum. One day we have to go together, actually, Alan.
Yeah.
You should go. I have the passes. And I think people under a certain age are free.
Yeah.
So,
well, not my daughter, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, she can pass. Tell her to dress like she's 5.
Creepy.
So.
All right.
One from Pilgrim
Media for 2. Will the studios continue to blame fans in future? Yes, they will.
They will always. That is a strategy. That's a strategy.
Yeah, they always blame box office failures on the fans because they didn't show up.
Yeah. Let's talk more Mission Impossible.
All right.
Alan, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning is now in theaters for its debut weekend on Memorial Day. Tom Cruise is on a tear. He is on a tear doing press, showing up at screenings and talking to theater staff. He is like the president of Hollywood, just a huge cheerleader for the industry. We can now talk spoilers. I saw the film a second time. Actually enjoyed it better because I knew to kind of check out for the first hour. First hour kind of feels like a greatest hits of everything Mission Impossible. There's a lot of clips from previous movies in the series. The film connects everything from the rabbit's foot to that iconic scene from the first Mission Impossible when he pulls off that heist floating above the floor. It's a image that you remember from that movie. It was on the posters, in the trailers, all the marketing. It connects all of those things in, some might say, a convoluted way. I mean, the whole thing is convoluted and ridiculous, but the two main action scenes, getting the hard drive from the sub, intense. That was fantastic. And the final chase scene with the two planes was great, with Tom Cruise hanging off the plane, which was real. I'm sure there was removal of harnesses so he wouldn't fall. And
so he wouldn't die, yes.
So he wouldn't die, yes. But you know, I love those action scenes. At the screening in my second viewing of it, people loved it. There were people who loved it. People were like, eh. But for the most part, I think people are enjoying the movie. Any thoughts on this now? Kind of a re-review here with spoilers. We can talk open spoiler discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned it before as well. This is definitely the worst of the best. So you take the best Mission Impossible movies. This is at the bottom of that list. It definitely watching the movie. It definitely felt different from all the other Mission Impossible movies. And I mentioned last time, it just felt claustrophobic. It felt up close and tight. Opening scene takes place in a tunnel. The next one takes place in a cabin, and then on a submarine, and then in a single prop airplane. You know, very tight, close spaces. Where in the last one, you know, you had the chase scene, you had the chase through the city. It just felt open and big, like you can breathe. And this one, it just felt uptight and close. And I don't say that as a negative, but I say that as it's the reason for me why it felt different and off compared to the other good Mission Impossible movies. It definitely had the tone of, hey, this is the last one. But it wasn't overtly that way. You just kind of felt it.
Yeah, in series of movies, when they start to hug, you know it's the last one. Whether it's like any like long series where you're like, I can't believe they made a lot of these movies. When they're hugging, they're not making any more. And they hug in this movie a lot. Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, you're right. It stands in contrast to Dead Reckoning, which I watched before I saw this.
To all of them.
Which is big. It's humorous. It's there's funny situations. The chase scene in Italy in that tiny car with Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell.
Yeah, handcuffed together. They're in a tiny car, but the chase scene felt big.
Yeah, it felt big. That it's like, so I think Dead Reckoning was in retrospect a lot better than we thought. I think the AI being the villain, it doesn't add a face to the villain. And Gabriel was probably not as menacing. He was kind of
he was not in it as much as the last one.
And also Final Reckoning, you're right, it felt small, whereas Dead Reckoning felt big and it was fun. This lacked the fun. It was much more serious tone. Of course, we have a main character that meets an end, which is always a warning that like other characters may meet their end. There is a character that you don't see him a lot in the clips, but yeah, Ving Rhames as Luther passing away and kind of offering a final message to Ethan Hunt is you know,
I mean, if you're gonna
poetic and feels like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if that character's gonna get killed off early in the movie, then why couldn't he then reprise his role in Lilo and Stitch? That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that's funny that you say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, but when it comes to action, that scene, I was sitting next to people that were watching the final scene with the two planes, and they were just like this. They were scared Tom Cruise was going to die. That's how intense it was. So look, I still recommend it. I think you could come into the movie almost an hour late, right? There's a lot of meetings and a lot of explaining stuff that doesn't really make sense. Like, if here's what doesn't make sense upon second viewing. It's like it really stands out. Gabriel has this thing from Luther, right? That will hack the hard drive.
Yeah.
He knows Ethan Hunt has the hard drive. Why is he running away from him? It's so dumb. It doesn't make sense. What the heck? It's like just we need each other. You have the hard drive. I have this, flash drive. We need each other. Just find a way to make that work. But it had to be this big chase scene. Really, the more you think about it, like, why didn't they just? But no, Gabriel, and he acts maniacal. I do love the way that he meets his end.
Yeah.
He gets a big laugh from the audience.
Oh yeah.
Big laugh. But,
by the way, if I ever need mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, Haley Atwell, please come to the rescue.
Right. Well, that even like is glossed over. They spend all this time like, look, you're going to go through excruciating pain.
Yeah.
You are going to get the bends. Things are going to hurt. And then that scene is glossed over like it's a dream sequence where he's like resuscitated back to life. Is like, oh, we're in this little thing together. Oh, I'm okay. Like, I thought he was going to die. Like, and they didn't really. I thought if you're going to drag out one scene, there's all the prep. There's all the like briefings about what's going to happen to you. There's the sub, he barely makes it. And then him coming out of it is like, hey, you're good. Like that. They really emphasize that. And it's like,
I know. Well, right. I mean, how long do you think? Okay, starting from the explanation of what needed to happen on the submarine, how long was that sequence? I'm gonna venture guess it was well over a half an hour. The entire, if not an hour. And that's the interesting thing about it. It's different in the sense of they set you up for what is going to happen on the submarine, of the worst thing that's going to happen to you. And right from the beginning of when they talk about the submarine to the end of it, it's just nothing but anxiety inducing. Because it's like going to the dentist or getting a shot or giving blood. You know, your mind works yourself up so much before the actual event that causes a lot of stress and anxiety. And then you have the actual event where he has to go in, where Murphy's Law is in play, where everything that can go wrong will go wrong. He gets the hard drive and then he gets out, which is another anxiety-inducing sequence. This is just, it had to be an hour long, and it was very effective in terms of being stressful.
This could have been 2 hours and change, not 2 hours and 50. A shorter version of this movie would have worked better. There's way too much justifying. It's so convoluted, and the more you think about it, it doesn't make sense. Just have them chase. He needs the flash drive. Just keep it simple, stupid. But if I was gonna go on a mission, Alan, you would be part of my team. I am thinking about doing a limited edition, like coffee table book, like a Taschen book that'll reprint best. I want to call the book "The Worst of Film Threat."
Good morning, Mr. Ing. The target is Chris Gore, film connoisseur and career rambler. His plan is to continue rambling until there is no time left to review movies. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to move on with the show and prevent him from rambling the globe into a full-scale world war. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
So there you go.
We got films to get to. Oh my gosh, someone went way into the past to do that.
Anyways, Alan, look, I still give it a recommendation. They need to be seen on the big screen. IMAX I like IMAX. It's better than 3D as a gimmick. IMAX is a treat for me. I love it. But what do you think? You still recommend it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's, like I said, not the greatest, but it's still a lot of fun. It's different. Let's just you'll watch it and you'll feel it's a little bit off, but it's not bad enough to say it's
I think the main weakness is it's a dramatic shift in tone from what was part one of this story.
Yeah.
Like the humor went away and it got convoluted, and AI is probably not the best choice for a villain, but I would still recommend it and see it in IMAX.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Not having a face to your villain definitely hurt it. You know, I think when Henry Cavill was the bad guy in 2 movies ago, that he was throughout most of the movie, and you had something to focus on. There's something to be said about being able to put a face to a villain.
Well, and I'll end with this before we go to your comments. I have a clip that a friend of mine sent me that is kind of crazy. It's Tom Cruise. My friend was at the Cannes Film Festival, went to a panel. Tom Cruise was there. Not only he does his own stunts, right? He does his own insert shots. Okay, you know, an insert shot is the shot of a hand holding a drive, or a hand picking something up, or he will do. Here, watch this video clip real quick from my friend.
He does all his own camera. Anytime you see a hand or a foot on a foot pedal, it's me. That's Tom Cruise. Yes, I know. Anyone could wear the shoe. No one would know. But there is performance in it. There is intention in it. And having tried to do it without Tom, I can tell you it gets done a lot faster because it's Tom's shoe.
I think that's great. That shows his dedication. So he does his own stunts and his own insert shots. And if you're a movie, if you make films, that's it can take a long time to do like the most simple shot, like dropping a wallet or picking something up with a hand. To get it just right is time consuming. Yeah.
I mean, we can argue over whether Tom Cruise is a movie star or not, but the reality is he loves movies.
No, I don't think we can argue that. He is a movie star. I think what the debate is he the last movie star? I would argue Brad Pitt is a star. I mean, there's still stars, but they're few and they're very few these days. So
yeah.
And most of the stars that are real stars don't really participate much on social media. And Tom Cruise really is someone to look up to. Something to look up to in terms of how to promote a movie and how to reach out to fans. Let's go to comments.
All right, Eric Stratton, member for 29 months. X-Swing FG on G&G was a writer in Rodeo for years before his present job in YouTube. He rarely talks about it, but it's super cool.
Huh. I didn't know. So one of the people on G&G. That's awesome.
Yeah, X-Wing. I think it was a typo, but it was X-Wing. Pilgrim Media for 2. I'm seeing Mission Impossible tomorrow at 11. High hopes.
You will have fun.
Yeah. Epsilon Semi-Moron for 5. Mission Impossible. The female badass diver looked like Vasquez from Aliens. Is that comparison ever going to get old?
Well, I think that actress is also in Andor. But was it Andor or something else? No, she was
something else.
No, she was in Ahsoka. She was in Ahsoka, I believe. Anyways, yeah, that's a Vasquez from Aliens. Notice how no one cared about Vasquez. Vasquez in Aliens is like a badass. They've done action figures of Vasquez. I still to this day will see at conventions Vasquez cosplay. Very popular character. So there you go. Thanks.
Okay. Sorry, I have her here. She was in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and in The Mandalorian. Well, I think
that's Mandalorian. She was in Mandalorian. Sorry about that. Okay, let's keep going here.
William for 5. I want Film Threat shirt that says, "There you go." It's Chris Gore's favorite thing to say to keep the show moving.
If there's a clever way to do a shirt like that,
I know.
Maybe we do a limited edition. So there you go.
Like some stylized version of your face on a shirt. Yeah. Sons and Shadows. Mission Impossible 2 killed my interest in the franchise years ago. Yeah, me too. I got the Blu-ray set recently and gonna give it a whirl, except for part 2.
You can skip that one.
Yeah, 2 was such a misstep. Mars Monkey Max. I just rewatched Rogue Nation last night. Rebecca Ferguson was looking great in those dresses.
Yeah, she was. Now she's a Reverend Mother.
Invariant 47. This movie did not feel like summer blockbuster. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Lilo and Stitch, on the other hand.
Hey, Tom Cruise is on a tear. He is on a tear, visiting theaters and promoting Mission Impossible. The footage of him talking to fans is awesome, and you love to see it. I'm going to show you a quick clip here. I may have to I'm going to share this to you. He's just talking to fans. I got to turn the sound on and I'm gonna
You gotta loop it back around, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much.
He's eating popcorn. Look at this.
I knew you'd come up to it. I knew you'd come up and talk to it.
People say I look like you.
Did you see this? Like, hang, look at that. That's real.
That's insane.
And that's nothing compared to what it should be.
So this is the last one.
It's called the final.
I don't want to see.
Final.
I'm watching a movie at 40X.
It's going to shake you up.
What a class act.
Yeah.
What a great guy. Just to visit the theaters. That's better. You know what? That's the thing to do from now on, Hollywood. Don't do a normal junket. Do like, just have the actors go to the theaters. Well, I'm lucky enough to live near the AMC Burbank 16, which is, they do a lot of people introing movies there. Just make that part of what you do. Forget junkets. They never get views. They only get views if it's something controversial, like with Wicked or whatnot. Just have the actors go to theaters, interact with fans, interact with theater staff. Tom Cruise he's really an ambassador for the industry. So, and in another related story, I want to.
I was just going to say, you can come to the Yorba Linda theater. It'll just be me and you. Come do that. My favorite part of that clip was, hey, look at that. That's me.
It's real. But
it's
also,
real.
He's got advice, not just in terms of, the best teacher is teach by example, right? You teach by example. Here's how we do this. Well, Tom Cruise, in an article, I think we have notes for this article, Alan. He criticizes film schools. This is from Variety. Some of his many interviews lately. Tom Cruise urges young actors to learn filmmaking tech. Actors think they need to learn acting. You need to learn tech, which is not taught in film school. He says, a quote, Brando understood lighting. All the greats did. It's really, filmmaking is such a complicated art form. It really is. And for him to actually emphasize this is important. You need to, and the most successful at film are people that understand the craft. The actors that really succeed understand the craft, how the camera works, what other jobs are on the set. How does this tech works? He clearly is an actor who is also a producer, and he's a craftsman. Alan, what else is in that story?
Yeah. Okay. So Tom Cruise has voiced strong concern about the lack of technical knowledge among today's actors, criticizing film schools for failing to teach essential filmmaking tools. Speaking at the British Film Institute, where he received a prestigious fellowship, Cruise emphasized the importance of understanding elements like lighting, lenses, and editing, skills that he believes earlier generations of actors such as Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando mastered. He shared his frustration with younger actors who often overlook these fundamentals and urged them to immerse themselves in editing rooms, study composition, and learn the impact of camera technique. Cruise described this knowledge as vital to an actor's craft, akin to understanding the stage in theater, and believes it separates good performers from great ones. Drawing on his own experiences, Cruise reflected on early realization that not everyone in the industry knows how to make films, prompting him to take greater control over his projects. He recounted how he negotiated creative oversight on Top Gun and credited collaborations with directors like Tony Scott and Christopher McQuarrie for shaping his deeper involvement in filmmaking. Cruise explained how McQuarrie salvaged Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol by writing scenes on the fly, including the now iconic Burj Khalifa climb. The BFI Fellowship not only honors Cruise's decades of influence in cinema, but recognizes his commitment to UK film industry. He talked about that climb up the building in Ghost Protocol. The red is dead, blue is glue.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that was just came up on the fly because it was knowing how to make a scene that seemed mundane more interesting. One thing that people criticize me every time I say it, but I'll still stand behind it, is if you want to be a great filmmaker, go watch your favorite movies, the movies that touch you in a very deep and personal way, and figure out why that film does that. Look at the camera movement, look at the lighting, look how look how the director moves the camera in or out or at all in order to accentuate the emotions of that scene, and replicate that. Put that in your arsenal of how you make your movie. And I'll just throw out this one recommendation. I forget the name of it, but it came out recently. But there's a quote unquote documentary based on Alfred Hitchcock. And it wasn't a documentary about his life, but it was basically an analysis of Hitchcock's filmmaking technique. It broke down scenes, it broke down writing, it broke down emotion. And the actor who was pretending to be Alfred Hitchcock would then go through an analysis and explain why he did certain things and why it would impact the audience. For example, he almost always started a movie by following an actor walking through a door. And he said that by walking through that door, you're basically taking the audience and walking them into your movie. And that's how he would start many of his films. Then it was just like, how do you portray love? How do you portray suspense? And it just goes through this technical analysis. And like Tom is saying here, the craft of making movies is going away, and we need people to just basically go into the past, which no one wants to do, and study it and replicate it.
I've got one last thing to share with you about Tom Cruise, and then we will react to a trailer. I've got one last thing here. It's here on X. This is Tom Cruise talking about him, like how he saved. He doesn't want to say he saved. I'm saying he saved Hollywood, and what it took when things were locked down with COVID. There's a lot of clips here from this show, the Pat McAfee show. And I want to share this. It's a little longish clip, but it's worth playing. So I'm going to play this for all of us here so we can watch it. Here we go.
So what I did was I just worked with the governments. I called one studio, and this is what I really did. I called the studio. I was like, yeah, you guys shooting? He's like, no, we can't. We're all shut down for that. I said, oh, wow. I said, we're shooting our movies. And they're like, what? Said, yeah, we're making our movies. And then, so I called back a week later, and I was like, how's it going? They said, oh, yeah, we're shooting our films. I said, because we're coming out next summer, And I said, so, we're on this date. I hope you're not on this date. They're like, well, we're making our movie and we're coming out next summer. And then I called the studio that I was working with. I said, look, all these guys are making movies. We got to make movies. So it kept everyone working throughout. So they were like, okay, we got to make movies. So then I was like, we had to finish Top Gun Maverick in post during COVID. And I was basically, everyone was kind of like, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. I was like, always going, nah, I don't take no for an answer, really, Pat. I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be a solution. So I was calling, like, we have to set up the rules. Let's make agreements so that we can get back to work. And then I was calling governments and getting agreements with them. And then I was sharing it with the other studios and my friends, saying, this is how we're doing it. And then just kind of saying my crew is going to get paid during this time. I just kept everybody working. And then slowly, and not so slowly, before you know it, we're able to just make sure that we're creating even our orchestra for Top Gun Maverick. We were able to get mics to people's apartments all over the world where they're recording their instruments and then combining those instruments to create a live orchestra. And just showing people, look, we can do this. We can do it safely. Let's create whatever rules so that we can move forward. And that's what I did. And I ensured that Top Gun Maverick did not go to streaming, that it was held for distribution. And I was calling all the theater owners globally that are my friends for decades and the studio head.
Can you imagine getting a phone call from Tom Cruise and he played them against each other. This is, I mean, you remember when Tom Cruise was criticized for, he went off on people on the set and that footage leaked and whatnot. Like, I was like, I have no problem with what he's saying. He's saying, follow the rules. I may not personally agree with a lot of what I can tell you for sure. I did not agree with a lot of things that happened, but if that's the rule to do the thing, just follow the rule and then you get your movie made. Otherwise it's getting shut down.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is a guy that will do anything for the industry. This is why Steven Spielberg walked up to him and said, hey, you save theaters. We'll watch a little bit more and then we'll talk on the other side.
Heads and all of us kind of said, look, this movie's coming out, period. It's coming out in theaters. And just kind of worked with everyone and said, look, we're all going to get through this. We're going to get through it. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And just working with friends and how to do it, how to navigate these channels and just keep people moving in the most efficient, creative way possible. And, just kind of night and day. It was 7 days a week, night and day, and creating these things. And you look at the film today, we made it through COVID and 2 strikes and, just be relentless about it. And, just make sure that people had jobs and that we were moving forward. And that's what happened. And it was very nice what Steven said. I've known Steven since I was a kid, and very grateful to everyone, that everyone kind of picked it up and everybody got back to work. But I was definitely kicking some doors through and kind of helping people to understand that this can be done.
What a class act.
Yeah.
What a class act all around. So,
I tell you, years and years and years of Scientology will do wonders.
I could care less what someone's personal. He's never tried to push that on me. And whenever I've seen Tom Cruise get criticized, like, when he was when he jumped up and was all excited, that footage where he kind of went a little nuts on some show. I was like,
it was Oprah.
Yeah,
it was about Katie Holmes.
I thought, I didn't think that was a big deal. I didn't think that was a big deal.
Yeah, all the criticism is just meant to suppress passion. And thankfully, Tom Cruise doesn't succumb to that. People don't like people who are passionate, who are excited, and people don't like people who get things done. And that's Tom Cruise. I do remember during the early days of the pandemic, walking by movie theaters and seeing the Top Gun Maverick in the poster windows of closed theaters. Couldn't wait for it to finally come out.
Let's go to comments here.
Speed Racer X89. He is a star and loves movies, and it shows. Why can't everyone be like that? Sheev McQueen. Hollywood needs to stop acting like they're better than us.
That's
Christopher Moonlight Productions. Everything an aspiring filmmaker needs to learn is on a YouTube channel called Every Frame a Painting. I watched every video from them while making The Quantum Terror.
That's great.
I have to look that
All right, one final thing today. We have the Predator Killer of Killers. There's a new trailer. We'll watch it right now. In fact, Alan and I just got a screener link to see it. We will review it. So are you ready?
Yes.
This is Predator Killer of Killers that will be on Hulu on, I believe, June 6th. We can check that, but let's watch it. Ready, Alan?
Yes.
You ready? Let's go.
My son, tell me why we fight.
Because our enemy still lives.
Yeah.
You all have traveled far and miss the warmth of home. But tonight, think of only one thing. Killing the monster.
You're not hearing me. There's something else up in the sky, and it's not human.
I pray you bloody your spear tonight. You are ready now. There's only one way to kill it. We must fight together.
Here we go. What happens if we survive?
Well, I like the animation style. I think it's I like that kind of stylized look. It's R rated. The violence was pretty shocking in that one scene. I'll check it out. We'll Alan will check it out.
Yeah, we're getting a big reaction from the audience here. They just can't help themselves. This art and animation style does not thrill me. It actually looks bland and very AI. Hard pass, no thanks. What the fuck? Pass. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I disagree. Let's go to this super chat here. We got to wrap up the show.
All right, the movie guy for 10. What's your thoughts on Dune Messiah? I've heard it's changing a lot from the book. I really enjoyed Dune 1 and 2 and hope Messiah sticks the landing.
We will see. I know it strays from the book. It has to, because Dune Part 2 did not end the same way as the first Dune book. And the character of Chani being the biggest change. So they will have to, I'm sure they have a plan, and we shall see. Dune Messiah was an epilogue because Frank Herbert felt that the themes of Dune did not resonate in a way that he had hoped. Paul is not meant to be the hero. He's kind of the anti-hero. In a way, it's kind of the story. I see Dune as the story kind of Anakin Skywalker. He knows he's going to become this evil thing. How can he undo that fate? And Dune Messiah kind of drives that theme home a little better. And I do think that there's not a lot of action in that book. It's more intrigue, more like palace intrigue, more Machiavellian things behind the scenes. So we shall see how I just hope that, Robert Pattinson is rumored to be in it. Looks like that'll happen. And I hope we get to see the Spice Guild navigators. So we shall see. We're going to leave it there. Quick thing. What?
Man, you love Dune so much.
I do. I love Dune. And I will say this. I didn't really get a Memorial Day gift from you, Alan, but I want to share this.
Oh,
Danica,
wow.
Comic Book Girl 19, sent me this Mego inspired Batman action figure. Thank you, Danica. Appreciate that. Comic Book Girl 19. Follow her on social media, on YouTube, whatnot. And I didn't get anything from you this year, Alan.
Yeah, just because you have a son in the Marines doesn't mean I need to give you a Memorial Day gift.
Yeah, where's my gift?
Oh,
Where's my gift?
where's mine?
Well, why don't you come over?
I have 2 uncles who are in the service. They fought in World War II.
Well, there you are.
Yep.
I want to thanks to our mod, Lord Thoth. Thank you, Atomic Glory, Lenuccio. Thanks, Alan. Everyone who sent in a super chat, we appreciate you. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Go to the movies. Go to the movies. We told you other choices of films that you can see. You got to taste. There's even something new on Netflix. You've got a kids movie, an action movie, something for everyone. Alan, what are you doing? Faith. What are you doing this weekend? I'm going to a couple barbecues.
Yeah, like I said, I think I'm gonna have to pick up a brisket and
I have tickets to see Jaws at the Egyptian Theater Sunday night. Probably go to that.
Yeah, we are most likely seeing Lilo and Stitch again this weekend, and I may try to slip off and see Mission Impossible again as well.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone out there. We will be back on Monday with Versus, but at a different time. We'll be doing Monday morning. We'll do a short stream. I told everyone, hey, it might just be me, Alan, and Dante or Badger, or just me and Alan. But I have a bunch of news stories we didn't get to today, and we'll do that. So
yeah, we should have a partial box office as well.
we will have box office on Monday. We will go over that. Hey, JTPRX, thank you for that. Here's a gift. Have a great weekend, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, JTPRX, or as Alan likes to say, JPTRX.
Yeah, we discussed why I say it that way. Because that's how I read it.
All right, Alan. Enjoy your brisket, Alan. Enjoy
Yes.
the holiday weekend.
Enjoy your barbecue.
Take care, everybody. Go to a fun barbecue. I'm doing that. So I'm wearing my swim trunks now. That's how excited I am. I have Batman swim trunks. I have them.
Yes, and I know for a fact your complex does not have a pool.
I'm going to a friend's place. He has a pool. So there
Okay.
you go. All right, Alan.
Let's get out of here.